Everything begins with economies of scale, which defines what I call the extraction imperative. Machine learning demands volume, and the quality of its results improve as it moves toward totality. As competition for prediction products intensifies, eventually it becomes clear that volume is not enough. Surveillance capitalists are compelled to search out ever more predictive sources of behavioral surplus. I call this the prediction imperative. This imperative demands economies of scope as well as scale. Machine learning needs volume, but also variety, driving supply operations offline into the world that we call reality, but also deeper into our intimate experience, our voices, our faces, our personalities and emotions. As the competitive dynamics of surplus supply continue to evolve, eventually, even economies of scope are not sufficient. Surveillance capitalists discover that the most predictive behavioral surplus comes from actually intervening in the state of play in order to nudge, coax, tune, and herd human behavior toward profitable outcomes. The idea now is not only to know our behavior, but also to shape our behavior in ways that approximate guaranteed commercial results. This new level of competitive intensity introduces what I call economies of action. It is no longer enough to automate information flows about us. The goal now is to automate us. In this phase, the means of production are subordinated to an increasingly complex and comprehensive means of behavioral modification, in which Big Other, the digital surround, is called into action as a seamless environment of reinforcement to shape the behaviors of individuals, groups, and populations. These processes are meticulously designed to produce ignorance in their targets by circumventing individual awareness and thus eliminating any possibility of self-determination. As one data scientist explained to me, quote, "We can engineer the context around a particular behavior and force change that way. We are learning how to write the music, and then we let the music make them dance." Examples are all around us. In my book, I write about the gentle herding of innocent Pokemon Go players to eat, drink, and purchase in the restaurant, bars, and fast food joints and shops that pay to play in its behavioral futures markets. Or the ruthless expropriation of surplus from Facebook profiles for the purposes of shaping individual behavior, whether it's buying pimple cream at 5:45 p.m. on Friday, prompted by social anxiety, or clicking yes on an offer of new running shoes as the endorphins race through your brain after your long Sunday morning run, or voting today as a result of social comparison dynamics systematically engineered by Facebook's researchers. The facts of behavioral modification as a commercial imperative finally strip away the illusion that the networked form has some kind of indigenous moral content, that being connected is somehow intrinsically pro-social, innately inclusive, or naturally tending toward the democratization of knowledge. Instead, digital connection is now a brazen means to others' market ends. This power to shape behavior for others' profit is entirely self-authorizing. It has no foundation in democratic or moral legitimacy, as it usurps decision rights and erodes the processes of individual autonomy that are essential to the function of a democratic society. The message here is simple. Once I was mine. Now I am theirs.